Okay. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining this session. So today we will do a short presentation, 10-minute talk about building pathways for inclusive life sciences and tech careers. So this will be 10 minutes talk followed by a 1-hour panel discussion where it will be open discussion together with the audience. Before starting, we can start introducing ourselves. So me, I'm Daphne Grasselly. I've been working at Roche for almost 2 years now as a data scientist. We are all located in Basel. And I've been working mainly in CI/CD and development process for R packages delivery, working mainly also with the Pharmaverse open source community. And I'm also mainly a Python developer. So I'm mostly working in one project about end-to-end deliveries for clinical trials output and orchestration. And I'm trying also to show best practices for Python programming. So hand over to Audrey.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Welcome to R Pharma. I'm Audrey. I'm a biostatistician, and I'm a statistical software engineer. I make the phase 1B product is an example of a product I'm a lead developer of. And yeah, Magda.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So my name is Magda. I'm at Roche for 4 years now, and kind of building my technical career path for the last couple of years. So I'm mainly R developer, focused on the automation in the SDTM's clinical studies space. Really enjoying working here with the team, and also the focus that we get now on the diversity specifically. Yeah, what else? I guess the rest of the story can be covered in the panel about our experiences and so on. With that, let's just start with the presentation.
Okay, nice, thank you. So just before starting, we wanted to show this nice statistics. These are coming from this conference, R in Pharma data. So the registration data. So we can see all the audience of R in Pharma is really located in different countries. So this is quite diverse, in total of from 87 countries. However, most of the audience is more located to North America, just because of the conference time zone, actually. But this is nice to see the audience is quite diverse. And yeah, before going deeper, I wanted also to bring some context during our talk. So at Roche, we are quite involved in the Pharmaverse community. So this is an open source community, mainly composed by R programmers, actually, where we are delivering R packages for clinical trials industry. So we are working with mainly other companies such as Bayer, GSK, and many other pharma companies. And some months ago, actually, there have been some discussion on LinkedIn, Slack, about diversity representation in the Pharmaverse community. So looking at the Pharmaverse Council, for example, it's composed only by men. And if you look at the packages maintainers as well, it's mostly men as well. And it's, yeah, women are mostly underrepresented, and some this is kind of an issue. So this is a call to action to improve gender diversity. So we started some initiatives around this, starting first actually with the user conference. So this conference was 5 months ago, located in Salzburg, and we did a first initial talk with Audrey and Magdelena. We did also some survey to gather some data from different pharma companies around diversity. And we had as well a panel discussion. This was really interesting because this panel, the audience, it was really kind of diverse considering the gender in terms of ratio between men and women. Yeah, mostly it was quite open discussion. People were feeling free to share different opinions. So we tackle quite sensitive topics about hiring quotas, visa abuse, or talking a bit about parental leaves. So this was quite interesting, and we hope we will have a bit this same atmosphere here, like really during the panel. If you join, feel free really to talk and share the opinion. It won't be recorded, so it's an important information just to feel free really to share everything, no recording and no judgment here. We are just here to talk and share some initiatives together. And after user conference, some other initiatives came. So actually, inside the Pharmaverse community, they nominate a new D&I champion, Laura Niedelman. She did a fantastic Pharmaverse post, so I put the link here and we will share the slide, I think, by the end of this presentation, and some other resources if you want. Also the Diversity Alliance. So the Diversity Alliance is a global initiative around diversity, where several people from different pharma companies are part of it. So they did a hackathon on how to contribute to open source projects. And then at Roche, more internally, this is really quite specific because this is just inside my team with me and Magda. We are working in a team where we have mostly software developers. It's really, we have mostly men in this team. So we did like a first internal survey and we are doing some monthly follow-up topics on different D&I topics. And this is something I wanted to share. I think when you talk about diversity, this is not just about doing one talk. This is also about, no, it's okay. This is also about putting initiatives and concrete actions, actually. So, for example, on this Roche small internal team, we are trying to tackle different topics. For example, how to make hiring interviews more inclusive, for example, considering neurodivergence or more introvert profiles, for example. Okay. So now hand over to you, Magdalena.
Yes, so as we already mentioned, before the user, we circulated this survey where we tried to get some feedback around the diversity in the workplace, in the technical jobs. So we did not have much time to do that. So we managed to get 46 responders in the survey, and they were mostly coming from pharma companies, probably mostly Roche, but also others that were connected to us through the Diversity Alliance. So a couple of important facts, and we'll not go through the entire survey and the replies, but the key points that we got from the survey. So as you can see, we got quite a nice range of ages, and what comes with that also experiences in the technical jobs in the pharma space. From our responders, and also a pretty nice split between different genders, so not skewed into any directions. So then the key things that we asked and what we wanted to share with you was, first question, have you ever faced or did you witness any challenges or discrimination in the workplace due to gender, ethnicity, or other characteristics? So here, even though we had only 46 responders, we could see some voices confirming that, in fact, there is discrimination. And it could be, for example, any conflict between the genders in the team, or when applying to jobs, some sexist comments that are appearing, maybe something against women or their skills. We are just quoting here a couple of them, maybe also not quoting females as often as we quote males. Disability discrimination, discrimination based on ethnicity or maybe language skills. Also comments to the meaning of certain races. And one of the key quotes that we noted and is here in the middle is that most of us who witness this kind of behaviors and don't speak up are also complicit, because this is enabling, and as long as we don't stop this kind of behavior, we kind of allow it to still be there, and discrimination is in the air in the workplace. So that's the key point from this question. And then on the positive side, we also asked about the positive experiences related to diversity and inclusion in the workplace. So there was again a lot of nice feedback around it, and a couple of the quotes and comments that were made. So people really value diverse groups, and they see great atmosphere and great outcomes when they work on the project with diverse developers groups. Also, we enjoy a lot the celebration and kind of bringing to light different cultural celebrations, so that we can see what's happening around it, and how we celebrate across the globe. Another thing, the visuals in the trainings are now showing more diverse spectrum of people with from different minorities, for example. So that's also appreciated. Another thing focused more on the project development. So we try to bring more users into development phase so that we can see different sides of the story when designing our products. And lastly, it was stressed that the leadership in the department is also a good example and sets a good example for the entire group of people or entire department. So that's also appreciated and is being seen now in the diversity and inclusion space. With that, I hand over to Audrey.
Thank you. So Magda talked about some of the positive experiences and all the actions that we've been doing to get us to where we are. So I want to introduce a quote: "Be careful what you practice, you may become good at it." So what we see now today in the engineering and science and the computer science space, whether we're diverse or undiverse, we have our habits have got us to where we are today, whether we are conscious of them or not conscious of them. That's why I have a little Rubik's Cube there hiding, because there are often factors that are hiding. And when you look at it, it's so complex. Race has many facets, for example. So I want to introduce this idea that we can make better products. Maybe think about the best products out there that we have, or the best stats paper that we have. Maybe they could be better because the teams are more diverse and they think differently. For example, there's a quote by a privileged guy called Adam Grant. He said, "Great minds do not think alike. They challenge each other to think again." That is all very inspirational. But I also want to invite you to forget inspiration, because habit is more dependable. This is a quote by an African-American writer. So collectively, we took some of the tips from the panel, the discussions in the panel, and ones we've contributed to as well. And we put together a list of habits that can make us all start from where we are and be on this journey together. So one of the things that Magda touched on is to quote beyond him, but quote her, quote they, quote them. And we know this when we look at LinkedIn posts and we think about a methodology or a product. It's always the same guy that we're quoting, for example. But great things have been said and done by her, by they, and by them. One of the participants reminded us to make more ADH-friendly emails. So we've included colorblind palettes in there too, and our Base R has a very good facility to that. So this is all new information, and what me, Daphne, and Magda want to say in this whole presentation is the best place to start is from where you are. And often the information about what is a gender identity, etc., is something that evolves with the times. And the best way to gain that information is to continue the conversation, maintaining dialogues with others, building relationships with others, to access their lived experiences of what it's like to be them. And to that point, it's often difficult to know what definitions are of gender identities, for example, or a race, but we can communicate our intention and what we want to get out of our collaboration, for example. I put a picture of a fern there to represent a plant, because there's always a question of why did the plant not survive? That's an incomplete story. We should look at the whole environment of how we can make the plant thrive in that environment. There's a question here for the audience. I want to know what you think. Should we treat everyone equal? If we did treat everyone equal, would we have an all-male panel, for example? If we treat everyone not equal, maybe we will have a more diverse workforce, because we are writing ADH-friendly emails now, for example, to someone who has ADHD. So that's a question I'd love to hear your thoughts on. Other habits is, yes, talking business outcomes. It is so relevant. We are well placed to link the actions and habits we are doing towards a more diverse workforce and linking that to the business outcomes. Just because more diverse thought process can challenge a product to be better. We put together a book list from the user R, and this is also keeping in mind that we acknowledge this is a complex topic. People do PhDs on them, people are professors in them, they write books. And so we understand that this is complex and we can start from where we are. I've read some of these books, they're a great start, and they help me understand myself as well. And I can see that this community is really active in presenting, in making workshops, in being part of communities like the R Pharma. There is a paper, an academic paper, that has 10 simple rules on how to host an inclusive conference. I think that's really relevant, whether you're just creating a conference or a workshop at your workplace. And the last rule in that was to make everything that you do part of a long-term process for inclusion. I hope you make that your number one rule. Linux Foundation offers a free inclusive speaker orientation. You get like a badge at the end you can post on LinkedIn. I find it hard to learn the language, and this course helped me learn the language and how I can navigate through these topics. That is not to discourage you from asking questions. I think we should be able to provide each other safe spaces to ask questions about diversity, inclusion, and equity, and how to navigate in that space. And all of that is to really focus on, if we try to focus on creating a thriving environment for a diverse workforce, we can really link that to making the best products that we cannot imagine at the moment. So yeah, in summary, this is beyond a checklist. A checklist is great. We just gave you one just with the slide before. And it is beyond hiring. But it is a process, and you just have to start from where you are. History has shown we've come a long way, that we have the smarts and we have the resources to be inclusive. Let's tap into our implicit biases as a next step. And finally, building relationships with our diverse workforce are key to building our best products. Thank you very much for your attention. We will slowly now move into the panel. We will give you 3 minutes if you like to please fill in our questionnaire. And then we'll also take questions from the audience in the meantime. And then we can also and have a look at the survey answers. Would love to hear what you think. Please write in the chat, raise your hand. We're gonna be monitoring the chats as well.